Yo, we are the Ruff Pack.
For BACKSPIN TV.
All right, my name is Darrell Jones, drummer slash producer. In this band, I'm playing drums. That's what I do. Reside in Brooklyn, New York, but we here in Germany, and that's what I do, drums.
My name is Matt Pedals, aka Matthias Löscher. I'm the guitar player of the Ruff Pack. Other than that, I also play guitar for other bands, so I play guitar. And the third member we are missing right now, that's Stefan Konrad, aka SK, from SK Invitational. We both live in Vienna, and right now he's performing with Five on some TV show. So yeah, that's the three of us.
Rough sounds. Nah, soulful, feel good, head nodding, jazz, hip hop, rock and roll music. You know, good music for the soul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, we actually met in New York City. Like Stefan, the bass player, and me, we were living there for a bunch of years, and I had known about the Rus playing for a while. And so when we decided to do a new project, like Stefan and myself, he was just the man for that. You know, he was just the perfect. He had the perfect sound, the perfect approach for our kind of vision for that band. Yeah, and then we met.
Pete Rock show. In New York, I was performing for a Pete Rock event. We were doing his covers. We were covering his beats for an event, and they were in the audience. And when the event was over, I was like, came up and spoke to me. I was like, who are these guys? You know what I'm saying? But I got a chance to finally do my research, and I found out, that they were. I was like, all right. So, to make a long story short, we did our first performance in New York for the ACF festival, and we just clicked. It's like they're like my brothers, you know what I'm saying? So that's when it all started. Yep. By me being a producer, I produce a lot of hip hop music, so that's pretty much what I've been doing, for the past. A lot of it for the past 7 to 8 years, like playing and hit live hip hop acts. I got a chance to work with Slum Village, Black Milk. I'm kind of losing my thought right now, but for the past maybe 4 or 5 years, I got a chance to work with Talib Kweli, and and other people in the hip hop community, Black Moon, and so on and so forth. Shout out to Black Milk and Hex and everybody for sure. Yeah. I think I'm gonna pass on that one, actually. Nah, I like the new stuff, but I'm definitely a '90s dude. That certain era, in the '90s, when you had cats like DJ Premier, Beatminders, Dre, and JD. We know him as J Dilla. Bomb Squad, KG from Naughty by Nature, RZA, definitely. But I'm new school too. With the the guys is out right now. Some of the stuff is cool. I'm digging some of it.
Yeah. So basically, you dig the '90s stuff.
Yeah, I'm a '90s dude. I'm a '90s dude. No, I'm a musician, so I had to. Sometimes I get work when I'm playing the pop stuff that's on the radio or whatever the style. So I had to, it's a even. Well, I won't say it's even, but you know what I'm saying. I find my place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it's a challenge, because you wanna, not upset the person who actually produced it. So you gotta really listen very closely and really dig very deep, like that is pretty much it, you know. Like also what we worked on, like the beats that we cover, it was always very helpful just, you know, to see what are the original samples. So I, for example, for my place know, okay, that is a George Benson sample, you know, and I can even catch that sound even closer because I know the original, you know, and then I see how the producer used it. So that adds up, right?
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, just to go with what he's saying, those producers, they put those certain parts in there for a certain reason. And that one little element that they added, it makes the song. So it's like if you try to cover that song and you're missing this one little strange effect, and then the song is not going to jump off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So each little detail, we try to pay attention to detail. You know, by me being a producer, like you said, we don't want to disrespect that original producer that made that record. So, yeah. Well, I speak on when we're covering other people's material. Just like what I said, just listening to all of the parts, you know, details. You know, some producers, they have like little detail samples or noises that they use behind, and those sounds make the track. You know, so just try to listen and listen to that and point out, you know, we're a 3-piece band, so we only can do so much. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We're not a 5-piece band, so sometimes some of the records have all these additional, you know, but we have technology too. We got Met pedals over here. You can put some sound effects, but yeah, we try to cover as many as the details of, you know, the sounds that make the record, and then you can speak on other parts.
Yeah. As for our own stuff, because we all compose and write for the band, it's just pretty much the same. I mean, if you ask me what is most important about the songs or about the music, what we do, I could just overall answer it's about the pocket, you know, about the groove. And I mean, we got the master of the pocket right here. So that's easy for us, you know, to jump on that train, you know. But that's pretty much the basic. And then the next thing is, and that also covers the beats and our own productions, our own stuff, is to play the actual song, you know, because we all got our jobs, we all practice our instruments, you know, and very often people lose that, you know, like get loose and play with it, you know, and of course at our shows you're going to see some of that too, you know, but it's just an addition, you know. Basically we all have the same focus, we want to play the music.
Because it's like, there's so many different ways to reinterpret a cover song. You can play it in your own way, or you can play it like the record. And I feel like if I'm covering somebody else's tune, I feel like the folks in the audience want to hear that record. Yeah. You know, if we do deviate, we just deviate. Maybe we may jam it out for a minute, but then we go back. You know, so we can get people's head bobbing again. Because sometimes if you go out too far, you're like, okay, you lost me. You know what I'm saying? Because but then sometimes you're in situations where you have a lot of musicians in the audience and they want to hear deviations. But then, you know, we had to just kind of play between, because sometimes it's like maybe 15% musicians in the audience and then 85% commercial people, and they want to hear the record.
Do you have any?
Let you go for it.
That's actually a question for Steph, which she's not here right now. Shout out to Steph. What's up, homie? Yeah. You're not here, but you know, we're going to, you know, I'll be your ghost today. Yeah, Steph and you know, I have a lot of trust in these guys, you know, and it's a certain level that I feel like we all have, like a professional level. So it's like I'm trusting that these dudes gonna bring us top notch. And this first, I mean, you asking about the MCs is kind of ties into that. I think, you know, these guys, they work with some of the best guys in these different cities and countries, and yeah, I guess, does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you know, we can't, you know, I mean, it's a lot of talented people out there, but we want to work with the best, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, that's actually what Daru said before. It's like the connections that we have in those cities, you know, like Stefan, who's not here, unfortunately, he got this band called SK Invitational. It's also an instrumental band, but it's like the opposite of us. It's not 3 people. It's
instrumental band on steroids, yo. I mean, I'm saying that's why so many people in it is involved. It's like a big, man, you know, like remember the big jazz ensembles, like it's a huge, it's massive, yo.
Yeah. If you think about the big bands, Count Basie or whatever, you know, it's like 25 people. SK Invitational got about 20. And they always feature rappers, you know. So we had the connection, of course, from Austria first, working with Texta, working with Flip. And that, of course, hooked Stefan up with Blumentopf, because they know each other, you know. So you get to know those people and you work with those, and this is how it develops, you know. This is how, for example, how we actually met to London. We were happy about it, because like on every tour, when we stop in Munich, at least one time, you know, on the tour, we feature him, you know, and it's always dope. It's always dope.
It's definitely a blessing. It's a blessing to connect with those dudes, you know. I feel like it's just, I guess the stars in line and the energies connect. And we're always grateful to connect with those people, you know, because instead of having the middleman, like you got to go to my manager to get to this person. It's cool that they respect what we do, and then we respect what they do, and then we just come together.
That's the game.
That's the game.
I suppose.
Okay, I talk about the mixtape. So the mixtape is titled Hip Hoppers for Cover, which means it's just like slang for me. I add the ER, make it plural, hip hoppers, instead of saying hip hoppers. For cover meaning that we're covering songs from some of our favorite producers. And it's not really a teaser, but I mean, I guess you can say that. But it's just when we perform our shows, our regular Rough Pack shows, we do have those segments where we may have the featured MCs in the building, and we just basically just said, okay, in the midst of us recording the album, we were originally going to use those beats for interludes, but we just ended up saying, okay, we just brainstormed. It's like, all right, let's just make this one project. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that came about. So.
Well, actually, first of all, it's the beats are covers, not the lyrics of the guys actually rap on it, but it's you know, like we play those beats at our shows. Either we have somebody to jump on it, you know, that's a great thing, you know, in whatever city we are. If we have a homie, you know, who can rap, he's welcomed, you know, to join us. Or can sing. True. True so. So we have those beats as we always play those beats. Like sometimes we play it as a mixtape style, you know, that we just switch through our own compositions and quickly throw in a beat, you know. So it's pretty much, you know, the stuff that we listen to, you know. As the Ru said, he's a 90s head. When it comes to that stuff, that's the stuff I grew up on too, you know. We very often find stuff that we both, you know, heard when we were younger. So playing that and paying tribute to that is great, you know. That's the reason why we actually also cover those beats. It's a good one.
That's a really, really good one. Because don't get it twisted. When you hear the hip hop for covers, the album is something totally different. I mean, it has an element of the hip hop, you know, on some of the records, but it's something else. It's our more jazzy rock. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's, you know, we hope that y'all dig it, and we think it's some cool stuff, and we can't wait to share it with the world. But yeah, I'm very proud of the project, but it's not like the mixtape.
Well,
Yeah, actually, currently from say like March, I've been out with Jack White, formerly of the White Stripes, and yeah, it's been an awesome experience, and yeah, he's a Grammy winner and very talented individual, and I'm playing this all-male band. He has two bands. He has an all-female band, the Peacocks, and one all-male band, the Buzzards, and I'm the drummer for the Buzzards. Yeah, and I also have my own projects, Rough Pack, you know.
Hear about it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a guitar player, I'm working mostly in kind of jazz stuff. I got my own bands. Always try to mix it a little. Keep being open. Inviting different people. So that's all. That's like we all do that. Do our own stuff. Of course, the main focus for me right now is on this project. As we have those two releases. Then there's Stefan, who we are missing. He also got this incredible big band. Which. You almost can't do it at the side, but somehow he manages to even do it at the side right now, because it's hard to organize that stuff. So we all work different projects, make a living.
Gotta pay the bills.
Gotta pay the bills.
Gotta survive.
Well, we had to do the recording. We had to do it here. I mean, last year we had a very long, I think 3-week long run, a tour for releasing our DVD. We have a live DVD, and on that run we had 3 days that we booked for the studio, and that was an incredible experience because both projects have been recorded at those 3 days. So I think we knocked out like more than 20 joints, and the other thing is, as we're on different continents, it's pretty hard. Actually, it's impossible to practice, like to meet and rehearse stuff. So what we did in the studio is everybody brought compositions, ideas, and then we met in the studio and pretty much arranged our own stuff, like in super high speed. I mean, it was quite an experience, and right? I mean,
when you this it's very important to work with good musicians and like-minded, because when you have good musicians or people that's experience, it doesn't take that long, and like I said, I feel like we're brothers from like another mother or whatever. We have kindred spirit, and like they just experience. So it didn't take that long. We was able to just come together and sing the stuff and just get in there and knock it out. Yep.
Can I add some?
Yes, sure.
Actually, if you want to know how it looks like, you can go to www.theruffpack.com and find a teaser from how we made the album, and 4 different episodes which pretty much show how we worked and how we recorded and where we recorded and how much fun we had, actually.
Well, thank you for that.
Well,
Right. Ruff Pack.
That's a good question. Drums. Laptops, Macs. Garage bands. Currently on the road, I need to eat some food. My stomach just growled. Shoot. Well, on the road, computer seems to be a lot quicker. Lately I just been running everything on computer programs. You can use the couple of you got the little keyboard you can attach, a couple of little devices. But yeah, I've been using my computer and the computer programs like the GarageBand and a couple of other things that I use too. But before that, I have like the hard disk programs. Like I had the Roland 880EX. It's a multi-track recorder, and you can it's everything all in one machine. You can mix, you can record in, and like you can do everything on this. And then I had the Roland SP 303 sampler.
Yes.
Yeah, Madlib, he was like kind of made that thing popular. And Dilla was, I think he used that for the donuts. I think that's what they were saying. He used that for the donuts. So I had that, and before that, in like the late '90s. I was using this rack mount, the Akai S900. It's a rack, and we basically had it MIDI through keyboards, like a whole process. But yeah, those are a couple of pieces that I use, in my production. Yeah, definitely keyboards. To add some flavors on there. Additional keyboards and yeah. But like I said, lately. I would say for the past like 3 or 4 years, it's been computer, and it's just so much faster, to just because the samplers, like, you know, people use like the what's that? The MPC. That stuff is cool, you know, but they also talk about how it takes takes a little bit of time to trunk everything down and sample. I don't really know anything. I mean, I never really used the MP, so I don't know. I've always used like very limited equipment, and I feel like I was able to find my sound with those pieces of equipment. And yeah, I mean, don't get it twisted. Like I'm, you know, I had to play some everything, so I'm not just a '90s. I'm a millennium on. You know, I like the records that's out now. So yeah, it's some really good producers out there. You know, if you dig, some really new dudes. Is like, shout out to Knowledge. I don't know if you heard this dude Knowledge. I think he's from Philly. Dude has got some nice on the beats. It's some new cats out there. Yeah, no, he's dope. Yeah, dope. Some others,
I gotta check it out.
yeah, some other dudes out there too. That's cool. That's doing their thing. But yeah, I'm not just a primo dealer, and you know, I like the new dudes too. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes, but not a lot, because sometimes I can just, you know, find my own way of manipulating the system. Yeah, and of course I'm a drummer, so sometimes I'm playing on my own records. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm like breaking my own beats, you know, from playing in the studio, recording live drums, and then sample them, you know, and making them like my own, you know,
So
original.
Very organic.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think by me being a musician, it really helped diversify my sound, and when I'm producing a record, not to just be like, okay, I'm only going to use hip hop breaks to make. I mean, like, because a good example, you know, rest in peace, JD. He really, you know what I'm saying, took it far, you know, really, really far, and just, you know, took, from what I can see and the information what I've gathered, like he would just buy the randomest vinyl, and like you may think you may not hear something from that, but he would make something. So I've just, you know, I mean, I've always been like that, even in my earlier, you know, production by me being a musician. Like I listen to a lot of things, and just finding elements from here. It may not all be from jazz, maybe from rock, you know, but as long as it's drums, we can make something from it. Or if it's, you know, if I get a vibe from listening to something on TV or whatever it is, you know, we can make something from it.
Well, on the actual album, there are no vocals at all, but don't get scared. That's cool, you know. As the Rue said, it's hard to describe, you know. I can actually also answer two questions from before, like the typical sound that you spoke of, the hip hop sound, you know. The cool thing about us is like that we, you know, collect different information from different records, from different stuff, you know. And even if you listen to the hip hop producers, you know, they also, as the Rue said, take stuff from different records. Very often stuff that I checked out before, as I said, certain guitar players or something. And on this record, we just actually threw everything in there. And cooked a really dope soup out of it, so to say. Yeah. So we had all the features that we have, or that we worked with. We had all of them on the mixtape. So there was a great chance. You know, originally we planned to have those beats as interludes. Also instrumental, just instrumental. But then we said, wait a minute, we work with so many great artists here, so we should represent them too, you know? And that's why we have the mixtape. For the album, it's the same. We had the same challenge and the same, we wanted to have this, how should I put that? We wanted for everybody to listen to it, like, you know, and feel comfortable with it, you know? We show what we can on our instruments, partially, but we never forget the song. We never forget the knock, you know, like you will be able to listen to it, you know, and feel very comfortable. So,
just to add to what he's saying, that's kind of like a goal. We want to make people like nod their head, because, you know, if people ain't dancing or they not vibing, then we're not doing our job, you know. And as a work for hire musician, that's one of my main things that I focus on, making sure people is out there. You know what I'm saying? If they not doing that, then I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. You know, so we just the project, I feel like, you know, even though we throw some curveballs, hopefully we still make people like, okay.
I hope so too. It's between your album and the mixtape, I would say. Like, mixtape, vocalists, and album instrumental.
And all self-composed. Like the album just represents.
Microphone?
And all self-composed. You know, like the album really showcases our own music. And of course, you're gonna hear influences. You know, of course, and that's good. You know, but it's definitely just our own tracks. No covers.
Shout out to Matisse and Stefan, because these guys are really, really talented, and those pieces that they compose for the project, I was like, oh, because we had sketches. They had sketches when we were recording, and I was like, yo, how did y'all make this? So it was crazy because it's like, you know, everybody had their own ideas, but it's just like, man, how could I make something to go with what this dude like wrote? It's just they so talented. It's such a blessing. I'm so glad to be a part of this and play music that I enjoy, because, like, you know, I remember when Bob James and when that music was hip, and I'm like, man, is anybody making any records like that? Because that stuff just felt good. Those Bob James where people sample from, they just felt good. It wasn't about doing all these spectacular, fast, who can play the fastest lick, but it was just the music just felt good, and you just the simplicity, but it was just like so dope. So I want to, hopefully we can maybe resonate.
Well, first of all, shout out to Fiverr to take us on the road for those 5 shows. Yeah, we had a really good time.
Shout out to the band, they're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing absolutely a thing. And we're, of course, sharing the bass player, Stefan. You know, this is also it's pretty much how the connection point, you know, came together. It's also Fiverr worked with this band that I'm also in and that Stefan is leading, as I said, as Invitational. And we played a bunch of shows, I think, 2 years ago. And this is how it came together, you know. Stefan just suggested it, you know, because we're like on this release run now from the mixtape. And she was like, most definitely, you know. So big shout out to her.
Thank you, Fiverr.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for taking our time.